Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss chapter 11 of class 7, transportation in animals and plants. Why plants and animals need a transportation system? Now all living organisms like plants and animals need food, oxygen and water to survive. These elements need to be delivered to all the body parts so that they can function properly. So animals, plants and other living organisms, they require a transport system by which this food, oxygen, water, etc. can be delivered to the different parts of the body. Now in case of humans, our circulatory system consists of the blood vessels and the heart. So first of all, let us see the structure of blood and its function. Blood is a red colored fluid that flows in our body through the blood vessels. The blood acts as a medium of transportation of essential substances such as oxygen and nutrients. Blood carries oxygen from the lungs to the different parts of the body, and it also carries the waste material from the different parts of the body to the kidneys where it is filtered out. And blood also carries the digested food. The complete digestion of food takes place in small intestine. So from the small intestine, blood carries this food and takes it to the different parts of the body. Components of blood. Now let us see what are the different components of blood. First is the plasma. The liquid part of the blood is called the plasma, and this is the part which carries different substances from one part to the other such as water, salt, fats, proteins, gases, waste, etc. Then the red color of the blood is due to the red blood cells. These are also known as erythrocytes, and they contain a special pigment called hemoglobin, and oxygen, it binds with hemoglobin and reaches every cell of the body. Then next is white blood cell. White blood cell is also known as leukocytes, and their main function is to fight against the germs that enters the body. And finally we have the platelets. This help in the formation of blood clot and prevents the flow of blood out of the body during an injury. Blood vessels. Now our body contains tube-like structures which help in the transportation of the blood. These are called blood vessels. Now there are three types of blood vessels: the artery, the vein and the capillary. So as you can see, in the artery, its wall is very thick while the lumen is thinner, smaller, while in case of vein the walls are thinner and the lumen is large, and in case of capillary it has a very thin wall, and the blood flows through the capillary. This is the smallest blood vessel. Now let us see the differences between artery and vein. Artery, it carries blood from the heart to the different parts of the body, and in most cases it is the oxygenated blood. Artery has thick walls because the blood flows at a very high pressure. Its lumen is narrow so that the blood can easily flow or quickly flow through them, and they do not have any valves. Veins, they carry blood from the different parts of the body to the heart, and most cases the blood is deoxygenated blood. They do not have thick walls just like arteries, and here the pressure is also low. Their lumen is slightly wider than the artery, and as the pressure is low, they contain valves which prevents the blood from flowing in opposite direction. Now pulse and pulse rate. What is pulse? Now we know that heart pumps the blood in the arteries. This continuous pumping of blood in the arteries result in their rhythmic throbbing, and this is called the pulse. Pulse rate is defined as the number of pulse beats per minute. So in humans it is about 70 to 80. This is the average pulse rate per minute. And this diagram shows how we can measure the pulse in our wrist artery. the heart. Now this is the pump which pumps the blood and moves it to the different parts of the body. It is located in the chest cavity and its lower part is slightly tilted towards the left. So it is in the middle of the chest cavity, but its lower part is tilted towards the left. It is located between the two lungs and its size is approximate to a clenched fist. The heart is divided into 4 chambers and this helps in preventing the oxygen rich blood from mixing with the carbon dioxide rich blood. The upper chambers are known as atria and the lower chambers are known as ventricles. The atria and ventricles both are individually divided within themselves into 2 chambers with the help of valves. From the left ventricle, the biggest artery, that is the aorta, begins. The right side receives the deoxygenated blood and the left side it receives the oxygenated blood, and the vena cava is the largest vein. Now if we look into the diagram of the heart, you can see here this is the right side of the heart. Here the deoxygenated blood flows. This blood comes from different parts of the body through the veins. This is the superior vena cava and this is the inferior vena cava. This brings blood from the upper part of the body and this brings blood from the lower part of the body. This blood then reaches the right atrium. Then from the right atrium through this valve is the tricuspid valve, it reaches the right ventricles, and from the right ventricles it goes to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. So the deoxygenated blood or impure blood flows from the body through the right side, that is right atrium and right ventricles, and move out through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Now let us come to the left side. Now in left side oxygenated blood flows. So this blood comes from the lungs. The blood from the lungs has oxygen, more oxygen in it. From the lungs it comes to the heart through the pulmonary vein. Then it enters the left atrium. Then from the left atrium through this valve is known as the mitral valve, it enters the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle it moves through the aorta, this is the largest artery, to the different parts of the body. So this is how the circulation of blood takes place in the heart. Now as you can see here, there is complete separation of the right and the left side. So there is no mixing of the deoxygenated blood with the oxygenated blood. There is a covering of the heart. As you can see, this covering is known as the pericardium. The blood flow takes place through the heart, it is written here. So from the body tissues, from the body through the superior and inferior vena cava, it enters the right atrium. Then through this valve it enters the right ventricles. Then it goes through the pulmonary arteries to the lungs. Then from the lungs, the oxygenated blood comes through the pulmonary vein, enters the left atrium through the bicuspid valve or mitral valve, it enters the left ventricle, and through the semilunar valves it goes to the aorta, and from the aorta it goes to the different parts of the body. So this is how blood flows in our body. Okay, heartbeat. Now the heart acts as a pump, and this is due to the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the heart, and this is called the heartbeat. Now the stethoscope is an instrument that is used by a doctor or by any person to listen to the heartbeat. Doctors use it to listen to the heartbeat of a patient. Now in a stethoscope, as you can see, there are 2 earpieces which you put in the ear. Then there is a tube, a long tube, and this tube connects to a chest piece. This is the piece that is put on the chest near the heart, and this chest piece has a sensitive diaphragm which helps you to listen to the heartbeats. Now we come to the excretory system in animals. Now during the process of metabolism, that is when the different types of foods are used, especially proteins, some harmful substance can be formed in the body, and this substance along with water has to be excreted out of the body. Now in case of humans, urea is the main harmful substance, you can say, excretory product that is formed during in our body, and this urea is harmful, so it has to be moved out of the body, and that is done through the process of urine formation. So let us see the different organs that constitute our excretory system. First, the kidneys. As you can see here, these are the two kidneys, and these are located at the back of our body. Now the kidneys contain blood capillaries that filter out unwanted substances from the blood, and it forms the urine. So unwanted substances in the blood along with water is filtered out by the kidney, and this forms the urine. Now this urine, it will move through these tube-like structures. These are known as ureter. So ureter are two tube-like structures which connect the kidney with the bladder. So the urine that is formed in kidney will move out through the ureter, and it will be stored in the bladder. So when the bladder is 3/4 full, then it will begin to stretch, and then there will be a signal from the brain that now this bladder is full, now you have to release the urine. So what happens is that this urethra, which is a muscular tube, it opens, and the urine that is present in the bladder moves out through the urethra to the outside. So these are the main organs of our excretory system. Now these are the blood vessels that bring blood into the kidney, and after purification it carries the blood away from the kidney to the different parts of the body. So you have a vein and you have an artery. So these are the main organs of our excretory system: kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra. Let us see the composition of urine. Now in urine, 95% is water. About 2 to 2.5% is urea, and the rest are different products, different substances which are not required by the body. For example, creatinine, sodium, potassium, some amount of calcium, magnesium chloride. These are required by the body, but the extra amount is excreted in the urine. So these are the composition of urine: 95% water, 2 to 2.5% urea, and rest other waste. Now apart from this, other things are not present in the urine. So if some other substances are present in the urine, that may indicate some diseases. That is why urine is one of the main diagnostic technique that is used to find out a disease. So urine test is most common test that is given to find out the disease. For example, if there is sugar in urine, that means a person may be diabetic. Now sweat is also a way of getting rid of some of the toxic substances in the body. So sweat contains water and some salts, and it helps in getting rid of some of the toxins that are present in the body. Also there is another function of sweat, is that it cools our body. So as the sweat evaporates from our skin, it takes up our body heat, and this makes us feel cool, especially during the summer days. So as you can see here, this is the composition of sweat. Mostly it is water, and apart from that you have sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, some of the ions that are present. So mostly it is water and salts. Now different organisms excrete different waste. So in case of us, in humans, the main excretory products is urea, and also in most of the mammals the excretory product is urea. But if you see in other animals, there are different excretory products. For example, in aquatic organisms, for example fish, the excretory product is ammonia. As we have already discussed, in case of mammals it is mostly urea, and in case of birds and insects and reptiles, mostly the excretory product is uric acid. Now sometimes both the kidneys of a person gets damaged due to infection or injury. In that case, the blood is purified by an artificial kidney, and this process is known as dialysis. This, as you can see here, this is the artificial kidney and the process is dialysis. So in dialysis what happens is that blood is taken out of an artery, it is purified and then again put inside the body. So mostly the wrist artery, through the wrist artery the blood is taken out, it is purified, that is all the waste are removed, and it is again put inside the body of the individual. So this is the process of dialysis that is used in case if both the kidneys are not functioning. Now let us come to the transportation in plants. So mostly in plants water and food are transported. So there are two tissues for transport of water and food. One is the xylem and phloem. These are known as vascular tissues. So xylem is the vascular tissue that is responsible for transporting water and minerals. The root cell absorbs water and minerals and transport it to xylem. Xylem carries it to other parts and to, of course, to the leaf where this water and minerals are required for producing food. Phloem, this is another vascular tissue and it is mainly transport food from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. And here the flow can be bidirectional. The flow in phloem is bidirectional, that is it can be from leaf to the different parts and in some cases from the parts where the food is stored to the different parts of the plant. So it can be in both direction, whereas in xylem the flow is unidirectional, that means the flow is from the roots to the leaves and not in any other direction. So it is unidirectional. Transpiration. So the loss of water in the form of vapor through the stomata is known as transpiration. So extra water that is present in the plant, it evaporates in the form of vapor from the stomata and that is called transpiration. Now transpiration not only has other functions but it also helps to move the water from the roots to the upper part of the plant, and this is called the transpiration pool. So as you can see the trees are can reach up to a long height. So in this case when there is evaporation of water through the stomata, it creates a suction pool and this pulls the water from the roots through the stem and branches to the leaves. So this is one of the reason how water moves through the xylem from the roots to the leaves. Now there are other functions of transpiration. Transpiration also helps in cooling down of plants. Just as in case of sweat, as we have seen, sweat helps us to cool down. Similarly, transpiration, as the water evaporates, it utilizes the heat of the plant and results in cooling, and that also leads to the cooling of the plants. So that is another function. So first function of transpiration is it creates a suction pool that pulls the water from the roots upwards, and second is it cools the plant. Thank you.